What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Weekly Technicals Live session for December 9th, 2018. And before jumping in and getting started with the technicals for the week and looking at dollar index, I do just want to kind of go over the economic calendar, so the upcoming news releases that we have for the week, and kind of get an idea of when we should expect some volatility in the markets and when we would expect the markets not to perform or not have as much volatility, I should say. So today we got a few medium impact news events. So we've got Canadian dollar and GBP both at 10:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so London session. And if you look Monday, we've got again, that would be tonight for me, which is 1:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we've got some GBP news here, so high impact GBP news, so it could be a potential London setup tonight. Then we got Tuesday, same thing for GBP again. We've got some more London session news, followed by New York session with some dollar index news as well. Oh, and they have the Brexit vote here. So Tuesday will probably be a pretty volatile day for GBP. So keep an eye on that. I don't know if I'm going to be participating during this or anything. I might still lean more towards euro dollar. We'll talk about all that when we get into the technicals. But from the looks of the economic calendar, we should see a relatively volatile day for GBP on Tuesday. So that's December 11th. And then Wednesday, December 12th, we got core CPI and CPI for dollar index, which is New York session, 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And ECB press conference on Thursday, so we could see a very volatile day for Eurodollar on Thursday around New York session for this one as well. So we got 4:45 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then Friday we've got retail sales and core retail sales for dollar index, 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for New York session. So really, there's multiple opportunities between Monday and Thursday, varying between London and New York session. So I think there'll be multiple opportunities for us to participate in something or multiple things within these next 4 trading days here. So that's kind of the times and the particular pairs I'll be focusing on during those times, and also the day. So keep an eye on that, and be sure to refer back to that portion of this video if you're wondering kind of like what times or what days I'm really going to be looking to participate in the market and things like that. Alright, so looking at dollar index now, we're on a daily chart, which just to kind of give you guys like a recap, every single weekly technicals we do the daily analysis, so it's an analysis from the daily chart. And we're basically looking at, what could unfold over the next week. For those of you in the premium group, you guys will get, the daily technicals, which I'm sure, you guys already know, which is the hourly and below. So we cover the intraday time frames and the different setups that I'm looking for in the particular session, as well as the following day. So this weekly technicals is a lot more broad in terms of the levels and the, things I'm looking for. Whereas those of you in the premium group get access to that more in-depth explanation, which comes along with those daily technicals videos. So those are not shared on YouTube. For those of you that do watch this on YouTube, those are strictly for my premium group. So that is available for anyone to join. Just to kind of give you guys the info on that, the link is the first link in the description. So if you click that, you sign up, then you'll get an email with the links to join the premium group. So if you're interested, that's how you would do it. But looking at dollar index here on the daily chart, what I'm still looking for, guys, is I want to see that continuation higher. If you really look closely, we're still in this range here, trapped between this high and this low down here. So there's really nothing going on between this range. There's really no levels of support or even levels of resistance that I'm watching for. The market is relatively just moving sideways in a consolidation. So the preferred direction I would like to see on this would be bullish and a continuation higher, taking us above the 97.70, which we've been talking about this for weeks now. So that's what I would like to see, and that would be my preferred scenario. Here's kind of what I'm looking at on the opposite end though. If we continue lower and we break below 96 big figure, so this means that we have to close below it, not just wick below it and come back around. We have to, have a significantly large bearish candle closing below the 96 big figure. And if that's the case, we can anticipate a potential retest of that level, and then we can look for lower prices to clear out any liquidity below the market and target all the lows. Okay, so that'll be kind of how I'm playing it, bullish and bearish. But again, just to clarify, I would prefer to see this market stop pushing lower and start trading higher. So I would prefer not to see it come back down to 96 big figure. I would like to see it just start pushing higher for 97.70s, 98 big figure, and so on. But in order for that to happen, we at least have to get back above this high here at 97.20. So if we remain below 97.20, chances of us continuing lower to 96 big figure are a lot more likely than us actually coming back up for 97.70. Now again, that's if we stay below the 97.20 level. So 97.20 would be a good level for you guys to keep on your charts, or at least watch out for in your charts. If we stay below that 97.20, expect weakness, and if we get back above 97.20, anticipate potential bullishness. Okay. All right, so we're gonna move on to euro dollar now. And same concept for this one, right? So I can map out the low here, and then we've got the high. And if you guys look, the market's really just moving sideways in a consolidation, right? So what I would like to see for this one, in respect to what we just talked about with dollar index, would be a continuation lower. Okay, and that would be clearing out the liquidity below here and potentially below here. Here's the problem though. Same thing as dollar index, we have to get below this daily low to confirm that we're going lower. So the low on this candle comes in at 1.1310. So if we stay above 1310, we're likely going to push up higher, and we're going to go back above this high here at the 1475 and trade back in probably to the 1.15 big figures. Now again, with dollar index potentially trading higher, I want to see this pair fall lower. So for that to happen, we need to see it get below this 1.1310 level, which is that daily low. So completely inverse of dollar index. While we're looking for dollar index to get above 97.20, we're looking for this one to get below 1.1310. Okay, and again, it has to be a relatively large bearish candle. It can't just be a wick, anything like that. We want to see a bearish candle like this close below here. And if that's the case, we should be able to anticipate lower prices for the 1260s and potentially 1220s, and then lower 12 big figure and so on. But that will most likely not happen unless we get below the 1310s. Okay, if you notice on Friday they came up here, and if you zoom in you can see this high was 114.18, and then the high that formed on Friday was 14.23. So we have in fact made a higher high on euro dollar. So it is just a wick, and we are just consolidating. That's why I really need to wait for that breakout or that confirmation, which would either be a break lower below the low or a break higher above this high. Now, ideally I would like to wait for them to get out of the box completely and take me below 1220. But I'm not going to be able to, at least with the end of the year approaching, I'm not going to really be able to take action on anything, once it gets down here probably, because it could go back into the range. So the reason that I'm looking for this low here at 1310 is if we close below that, I'll be confident to short the retest here, and then I'll be able to take a position and capitalize on the move down here. Right, versus just letting it come all the way down, prove to me, and then go in. So I would consider, this idea or this position I'm looking at as a little bit more higher risk than what I would consider this one here, as if we broke all the way out of 1220. But we don't really have that, and we're stuck in the consolidation. We're going into the end of the year. 2019 is approaching, so I would be more confident selling the retest here and looking for a continuation. Now, if we just come all the way up here above 1470, we break out the range with a big strong bullish candle, I'll buy the retest and I'll target higher highs looking for 16 big figure and so on. But first things first, I need to actually see which direction are they going to be working. Right now, as a pre-week analysis, it's Sunday. I don't have any price action to really work with and identify what direction they're going to be heading, right? Because when we're in a consolidation, you're pretty much trapped between, two things, a low and a high. And then in order for you to figure out the most likely direction, you have to see which level is broken first. Is it the high or is it the low? Which at that point gives you the information you need in order to determine which direction the market will move. So that's kind of how, I play consolidations. I don't ever try to predict, is this consolidation going to lead to a bullish breakout or anything like that. I never really look to do too much trading specifically inside of a consolidation. I usually wait for the market to break out, and that gives me, my much higher probability, more likely setups, with just a lot higher probabilities overall if I'm actually trading, with that in mind. But if I'm trying to, trade back and forth in this consolidation, you guys can see it here. We don't really have any clear direction. We keep getting small body candles with big wicks on each side, causing the intraday charts to look very sporadic. So you'll see an intraday chart, they'll come all the way down, they'll come all the way up, they'll come all the way down, come all the way up. When you look at an hourly chart, you'll see price action like this. It's not clear in terms of what they're doing. They're just back and forth working each side of the range, and they're just trapping retail traders, taking people in, taking people out. Not taking people in, taking people out. So anyone, any retail traders are buying and selling all up in here. And, obviously the market is able to take their money based on, their lack of knowledge on, what to do when the market does things like this. So when I look at this, I see a potential, longer term reversal that could take us higher up into the 1850s. But in order for that to be true, I have to see a breakout of the consolidation, give me that retest, show me some weakness on dollar index, and then I can look for that higher objective on euro dollar. Okay. But if we continue just to say we trade lower and then they don't give us anything, we push back up, they could very well end the year consolidating sideways just like this without ever going above this high at 1470 or below the low at 1220. So keep that in mind as well. We can go into 2019 just consolidating sideways, and I would not expect anything other than that, to be completely honest, because this time of the year, with it being the holidays, we're so close to 2019, it would make sense if they just consolidated. I don't necessarily see them having some type of breakout or anything crazy. So you guys keep that in mind as well. For those of you that trade on your own and you're not in the premium group, be advised that the markets will probably continue to consolidate. So make sure when you're selecting your trades or looking for any setups that you're following your plan. It's high probability. It's based off the higher time frame. Don't just try to trade on the hourly or 15-minute during this time, because the markets are consolidating, and you're going to get a lot of back and forth price action. Alright, so if we move to GBP USD now, same thing with this one, guys. So when we look at all these pairs, they're all going to be very similar. You can see we're in a much larger consolidation here. Down, up, down, up, down, right? So not giving us anything clear to work with. Now, just like we mentioned last week in the weekly technicals, we had these equal lows, which first day of the week we took those out. Now we've created new equal lows on a larger scale. So if we move our little X, we've now got this low and this low, okay, and we're going to delete this one because this was the previous week's equal lows. So I'll be looking for the same objective, guys. Very similar price action as as last week. So we got equal lows now. I'm going to be looking for a run below this low, which that in itself is at least about 50 or so pips, 50 or more pips. So that should be plenty enough for the week, and that's kind of what I'm anticipating. So if I can get a position on for that, this is relatively clear. We do have these equal lows. To me, it looks like they're going to want to run below here. As well as some resting liquidity way back here. Don't know if they're going to get all the way down there into the 2580s, but as of right now, we've got these equal lows at the 2660 level, which will be my target. Okay, so even 27 big figure as a near-term target for about 30 pips or so, but realistically, we should go down to 2660 before having any type of bounce up or anything like that. At least that's what I'm anticipating. Okay. Do keep in mind that we are still in a consolidation, so we could very well just see them, hold this low and continue trading higher. Continue trading sideways. So, that's something to factor in as well. And again, when I'm looking for any trades this week, I'm going to be basing them around, what time is the news event? When should I expect that volatility? Is it London or New York session? Is it based off of the daily? Or even a 4-hour level, something higher time frame to give me that conviction that the market's going to respond at the level I'm looking for. Make sure you're looking for all these things when you're trying to select your own trade, and this goes for most of you that are not in the premium group. So those of you that are, obviously you'll have everything that I'm looking at, why I'm looking at it, all that. But those of you that are not, really take this advice and try to, utilize it in your trading, because there's oftentimes, and this actually was one of the worst things that plagued me as a trader, was during the holiday months is, kind of like the time period where I felt I needed more money and I needed to make more money in the markets to close out the year strong, et cetera, et cetera. And inevitably, I did this twice. I ended up blowing my account both times during the holiday season. So, that's just something that you guys should really consider, because these markets are designed to take your money, especially if you don't know what they're doing. So if you're trying to put on as much risk as possible during the holidays and you're looking for 100 pip moves and all that, which I was, you will not get that, right? And the market will teach you that lesson, either the easy way or the hard way. I'm trying to kind of give you guys the fast track here by explaining to you, what happened to me, what you shouldn't do, and what you kind of should be looking for and should do. But again, I can't make you guys take the advice. So I hope that you guys listen and decide to consider that before you take in any trades or anything this week. But yeah, it's the holidays are not, I wouldn't call them the most ideal time to be trading. But again, I have the responsibility to you guys to show you guys every single week what am I looking for. So had I not started a group or anything, maybe I would have, continued to take this month off and not looked at the charts at all. But, honestly, I prefer it just to kind of educate you guys on, what I see, and also to kind of validate the things that I've learned, right? So it validates that, the holidays are a shitty time, right? So, where I used to lose money and blow accounts during the holidays, now I'm able to sit back patiently, not take any trades, and just watch them do what I've already expected them to do, right? So I enjoy that, and I think once you guys really get more clarity in the markets, you'll start to enjoy it as well, just as you're watching price do things that you potentially expected, or them to hit levels that you expected, and so on. Alright guys, so if we move to Euro GBP, I'm going to move a little bit quicker now because I got to get off of here in about, I'm actually about a minute late. So I have an appointment at 11 p.m., but the guy hasn't called me yet, so I'm going to continue on for probably another 5 or 10 minutes, but I'm going to run through these next couple pairs relatively quickly because I do have to hop off here soon to hop on a phone call. So Euro GBP, you guys can see we had that little push up on Friday as we were expecting. For those of you in the premium group, we've been consolidating around the high. We were looking for that continuation higher, and we have now seen that. So I'll be looking for continuation above 89.90s, and potentially up into the 90 big figure level, and that'll be what I'm looking for as of right now for Euro GBP, which should lead to either a stronger Euro or weaker GBP. So that's kind of what I'll be keeping in mind based on my analysis looking at Euro GBP. Alright guys, if we move to dollar yen, we have seen a significant sell-off since hitting the 1.14 big figure. To be honest guys, I thought for sure, give me one second. But yeah, to be honest guys, I thought with with dollar yen, for sure that we would see them come back above the 114.50 level, but we ended up stopping pretty much at 114 big figure, coming all the way back down, and now we have since made a lower low. So for this, it very similar to everything else we looked at, guys. You just have to consider the time of the year that we're in, and it really reflects so much during in the price action. So we've got a high and we've got a low, and as you guys can see, the market has just been consolidating in between. So, similar to everything else, we could end the year in a consolidation for dollar yen, as expected. So, I shared the swing trade with those of you. So I bought it around here, around the 112s, 50s, 112.60s, and I was targeting 114.50 longer term, but I closed out partials right here at 114 big figure. So I was able to capitalize on this whole swing right here as a swing trade. And I don't believe I shared that with those of you on YouTube yet. So I'll actually be sharing that this week on YouTube, so keep an eye out for that. I'm going to go over all the details and everything like that in the dollar yen swing trade that I took. I took 2 positions on it, and it amounted to about over 270 pips or so, and it was over the span of about 2 weeks. So I'll share that with you guys later on this week in a YouTube video, so keep an eye out for that. But just to clarify, I am out of that position now. I do not have anything else on. The market has come back down and made a lower low, and as we were pushing down, there was really no reason for me to stay in, because it looks like they're just going to consolidate. We have not made a higher high, taking us above 114.25. We made a lower high, right? So now we've come back down and make a lower low. So we've got bearish price action unfolding, but we are in that bigger consolidation, so we do have to be cautious of that. So for dollar yen, I'll be looking for either consolidation sideways, or I would like to see them kind of start pushing higher from here and see if we can really get back above the 114 big figure. Just based off the price action, though, I do not see that being the case yet. To me, it looks like they want to continue trading lower or consolidate sideways. So I will not be touching dollar yen right now. Honestly, I had a really good swing trade with that. So I'm not a huge dollar yen trader, but that's set up perfectly. So I took action on that. Now, if we move to Australian dollar, this one's interesting. So last week we were talking about Australian dollar. We had a gap up, and we were expecting, anticipating a potential run higher. So I was kind of thinking, is Australian dollar one of the first currencies that's really going to get that movement up, which will, or could lead to potential weakness in dollar index. As you guys have seen, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all we've seen was just a big bearish day each day of the trading week. If we look at a weekly chart, look at that. Market's consolidating, we gap up, and then we have all this rejection, taking out the previous 2 weeks lows. So definitely something for you guys to consider here. Looking at this price action, you can clearly see the unwillingness to move in a specific direction, right? So the market looks like it's moving higher. So we've got a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. They've got everyone thinking, you know, this thing's going up. So they're trapping retail traders who are buying this, and then they say, okay, fuck you, and then they sell it off, taking out the equal lows below here at 72 big figure and clearing anybody out that's bought it. So with this one, you know, similar to everything else, we could go into a consolidation sideways for the remainder of the year. But if we continue lower, I'll be looking for the 71 big figure down to the 70 big figure. So those are kind of like my lower objectives, which is about 100 to 200 pips based on which specific level you're targeting. Also, don't forget we got the 7160 level here, which is that retest of structure. So we'll be looking for 7160, 71 big figure, and then 7020. So those will kind of be like all of our levels on the downside, which there is easily a 50 pip move available within all of this. And the good thing about Australian dollar is it moves relatively slow. And also, this high that formed at 74 big figure, or 73.93, whatever 73.93. So basically 74 big figure. I'm anticipating that to be, you know, a potential longer term high. So we could see continued rejection lower as long as that high holds. So we'd be looking for selling, taking us below 70.20, which would, you know, mean that this high was in fact a you know, potential reversal. Alright guys, so let's move to NZD now. Very similar for this one here. Gapped up, formed a high, and then we sold off the remainder of the week. So nothing too much that I want to talk about with this one other than the fact that either we're going to find some support here at the 68s, or we're just going to continue trading lower and target the 67.50 low right here, and then target 67 big figure, and so on. So if we do not find some support to get back above this high, which would take us above the 70 big figure here, so if we continue trading lower, I'll be kind of looking for each swing low on the downside. Ultimately, way longer term will be down here, but to be completely honest, like the price action that we're seeing in here, it doesn't look like we're coming down here. This could be a long-term, you know, reversal here for the buy side, and then the market comes back down, gives you another entry, then we start pushing higher. So we could very well keep this low here at 67 big figure intact. So meaning, you know, they could not come back down to 67 big figure for months, and they can just continue gradually trading higher for the 70 big figure. So something to consider there. I'm not specifically looking for anything to trade on this in particular, but or is there nothing I see that's super clear that I want to take action on? But I do think if we stay within the 68 to 68.30 levels, we could see some potential support there, and we could expect the market to start trading higher for that 70 big figure. If we start trading lower, though, 67.50s or lower, I'll be looking for that continuation of that breakdown. All right, and to wrap it up, guys, we got dollar CAD. So we have finally achieved our equal highs here, which took place at the 33.80 to 33.40. 34 big figure. So you guys can see initially for the week we gapped down, and we were stuck in this consolidation. We gapped down, and then Tuesday, bullish day. Wednesday, continuation takes us above here, and then Thursday we get that final push, forming the high at 34.44, and then we get a little bit of rejection here on Friday. So with Friday, we've seen this price action to the downside on Friday. I'd really like to see dollar CAD open up and just start, trading higher, just gunning for the upside, because we've got, relatively equal highs here at the 35.40s. We got some money resting above here. So there's definitely money resting above this market, and if you guys look, it's just gradually pushed higher all the way back from September 27th through October, November, December. It's just been gradually pushing higher. So now that we're up here, I'd really like to see them hold above the 34 big figure and, start pushing to the upside for the 37.80s, way up here. which obviously that's much longer term. There's targets for us to target on a lower level, but longer term, that's what I'll be looking for. And just the fact that we've gotten all the way from down here after running the low, we've come all the way up to clear out the liquidity above here. So you guys can go back and watch all these old videos when we're talking about price down here, when we're talking about price here. At each point, you'll see me talking about price, where I'm looking for, and I don't remember the exact day, but we have been looking for these equal highs at the 33.80 for months. So I don't want to say that it's all the way back here on October 1st, because I don't think that I talked about it on October 1st. I don't know. But as we're starting to push higher, you guys can clearly see that the target was up here. So even if you were able to get on the position here, you're still able to capitalize on 250 pips, right? So go back and watch the previous videos. I really encourage you guys to do that, because you'll learn so much after seeing what I talked about and then what happened. It'll really kind of like bridge the gap of where you're confused and things like that. So that's honestly what I did for ICT stuff. So I'd go back, watch his old video, then go look at what happened in price and figure out okay, this is why this happened, right? And that kind of gave me the confidence I needed to really select my trades and also kind of understand what the market's doing. So I'm going to take off all these levels now because we don't need them anymore. We've already achieved our objectives. I'm just going to adjust this one over a little bit more because we are still right at that level. So if we get above it, I'll expect higher prices. But, obviously if we find resistance and start breaking down, making lower lows, I'll have to move my standpoint on this. But I do want to see them push higher. Again, we've got liquidity resting here. So I guess we could put those lines on our chart really quickly because those are our upside targets. Alright, perfect. So what we'll be looking for, guys, is obviously we're already above this high at the 33.80s, but we'll be looking for this one back here at roughly 35.50. Okay, so 35.50 from where we're at now is over 200 pips or so. So there should definitely be an opportunity if we do get that continuation to the upside. There should definitely be an opportunity within there for us to squeeze out 30, 40, 50 pips, whatever we can out of that position. So that's kind of what I'll be looking at for dollar CAD, and that's pretty much it for the weekly technicals, guys. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna stop the recording. If you guys have any questions, just make sure to leave a comment right below this video with your question, and I'll go back and I'll answer it. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, and I'll talk to you guys later on in the week. Again, just some closing notes. If you guys are interested in the premium group, the link for that will be the first link below in the description, where you'll get access to my signals every time I take a trade. You'll get access to the daily technicals, which is a more in-depth look at the charts on an hourly and a 15-minute basis, to really get dialed in with what we're looking for during London and New York session. So that's that, and the next weekly technicals video will be posted to my YouTube next Sunday. I do them anywhere from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so be on the lookout for that. But that is it for this week, guys. I will talk to you next week in the weekly technicals. Hope you guys have a great week, and be safe on your trading, and talk soon.